Should I have a pre-listing home inspection? What is a pre-listing home inspection, and should I have one before I list my home? Well, a pre-listing home inspection is where the seller has a qualified home inspector review their home prior to going on the market. Typically, this pre-listing home inspection is completed about 2 to 3 months prior to listing the home. As a seller, you may ask, why should I complete a pre-listing home inspection? After all, isn't it usually the buyer? I'll answer these questions and provide you some valuable information that can help you with your decision. Also, it's important that you stick around until the end of this video because I'll let you in on a very important piece of information that could be a problem for you and how you can potentially avoid this pain point. In typical real estate negotiations, a buyer will place an offer on your home with conditions. It's during this conditional time frame that the buyer will generally complete a home inspection with a qualified home inspector. This inspection is an in-depth evaluation of the condition of your home, as well as its operating systems such as the air conditioner, the furnace, electrical systems, and so forth. You as the seller are typically never present during the buyer's home inspection. This allows the buyer and their inspector to review the home and discuss things in private. If you've sold a home before, the home inspection period can be a very nail-biting experience. You may ask yourself, what are they going to find? Is the home inspector an alarmist? Is the buyer the nervous type? Is the agent knowledgeable, and can they educate and direct their client properly if something pops up? But how can you maybe avoid these concerns? Well, if you're anything like me, I don't like surprises. I need to be ahead of the game and fully prepared. By completing a pre-listing home inspection before you list your home, it provides you as the owner/seller detailed information on the condition and the repairs that may be needed for your home. You're now informed, and when you know what these issues are, it allows you the opportunity to address them before you list, so it doesn't become an issue for the potential buyers. This also helps you and your agent obtain top dollar for your home if corrective measures have been taken. Plain and simple, information is power. I'm sure you've heard that said before. As a seller, you should really understand your home and what issues there are. The last thing you want is the buyer educating you and your agent on what their inspector found in your home and then trying to renegotiate. Particularly with first-time home buyers, in my experience, they can easily be spooked by what may seem to us to be minor things, and they could develop cold feet during the conditional phase. But keep in mind, though, that the buyer doesn't have to rely on your pre-listing home inspection if you decide to willingly provide it to them. They are permitted, if there is an agreed condition in their offer, to have their own inspection completed. That's okay. Their agent is looking out to protect the interests of their buyer. At the end of the day, it's about how can I make my home more appealing to buyers? Well, a pre-listing home inspection will help you know what needs to be fixed. If anything major comes up, understand that if you do not have the funds to fix it yourself, that this will likely have to be taken into account when pricing the home to begin with. Speak to your agent and they will advise you on what requires to be disclosed to all parties. No matter what the situation is, if the buyer asks you to renegotiate the offer price after their own inspection has been done, a huge word of caution here. This can be risky if the buyer also has a finance condition inserted into the offer, which they will most likely have. And if that offer has already been submitted to their lender for mortgage financing approval, it could trigger the bank to ask why the reduction, what's wrong with the house, and may even put the buyer at risk of not receiving lending at all, depending on the extent of the reduction and the issue. So what is that very important piece of information that I wanted to share with you? Well, in the end, if there are issues with the home, the buyer can back out of the deal. If this is done, the seller and their agent will have to put their house back on the market and start the whole process over again. If the home has been on too long, it could even create a stigmatized property. So what's the lesson here? As a seller, be empowered with information about your home before you list it. In my next video, I'm going to share with you the top 3 things that you should upgrade before you sell. In the meantime, if you have any questions regarding real estate, please drop me a line. We'll see you next time.